Hey everybody, it's John Corelli, your average guy opinions. I haven't been uh, posting or creating for a few days, so sorry about that. Uh, it's been a crazy week, as many of you saw on, uh, let's see, episodes 106 and 107, I believe. One of my best friend's wives died, and she was, by virtue, also one of my best friends. And so I've been helping him, my friend, deal with that as much as I can. But I do want to talk more about death and the weird ways we kind of celebrate, I guess, death. By the way, my kid is taking over my bedroom, so I'm in Logan's former room right now. That's why it's kind of plain in here. I'll start putting up some posters because basically I'm a teenager in a 53-year-old man's body. I just have to, I got tons of movie posters. I may have told you this once before, but I've spent about 8 years in the movie theater business coming up when I was working my way through college, and then again right as my first son was being born. So I've got, I think, over 100, maybe 150 posters. Just saved them up. Got lucky and got some when I shut the movie theater down in Cleveland. That was the one when I was when Dante was born. Just kind of captained this sinking ship for about a year and a half, and yeah, so I ended up with all these posters piled up over the years, and so I ended up getting a decent chunk of them, some cool ones too. Anyway, so yeah, that's, I don't know, I feel like I look really thin in this room. I don't know why. Maybe it's this vertical stuff going on. I'm in the corner, I'm sitting on a bed. It's weird. But so is death. So that's what I wanted to get to is, once again, if you have a glass, I don't, but I do have some water. So yeah, raise a glass, a jar, whatever you got to Pam Leon, because she's a good woman, and it's sad. And nobody should have to suffer the way she suffered through cancer for a few years before she finally died. She was great. And last night, let's see, so today is the 27th. So last night, the 26th, I took the day off, not so much for her wake, but because I just couldn't sleep. It's kind of weird. Went for a wake, but I couldn't sleep. That's a weird play on words, but I couldn't sleep at all Sunday night. I got an issue going on in my neck, which will be a couple of episodes soon, because I'm going to be taking acupuncture and visiting a chiropractor, things I've never had to do before. I think I got a bulging disc or something going on back there. We'll figure it out. It's not terrible, but some nights it's given me a lot of pain, and night before last was one of those times, and I ended up just not sleeping at all. I had to call in sick to work because I was on literally like an hour's sleep when I normally would have gone to work, and that was just not going to happen. I've piled up nearly 2 months of sick leave, and so I take it. At this age, I'm going to take it when I can. So, but that evening, last night, Monday night, we had Pam's wake at a local bar here in Denver. Pete was there, of course. My ex-wife was there. Our kids were there. Logan was there, and Pete and Pam's son Jimmy was there, and it was good for them. I think it was good that they could support each other. And then Jimmy's, I don't know if they're still going out, girlfriend Jackie was there. All three of the kids went to Challenge School together, so that was nice. But it is weird. Death is odd. It's odd how I don't know how to say it. I guess we celebrate it. I guess we have to, because we know that's, whether there's something beyond this or not, who knows. I hope there is. I don't think there is, but there might be. But it is, this mortal coil. Once it's done, we gotta at least pay homage to it, and hope we lived it well, and hope we can celebrate people that did live it well. Pam, like I said, was great. She was a good mother. She was a good wife, and Pete's been suffering. But a wake is a weird thing to me. It's weird that we're really gonna just try to get hammered while we celebrate this person's life. Luckily, people weren't getting too crazy. It's a Monday night. How can you, for one thing? And for another thing, it's not the way I want to pay homage or respect to somebody. And I've told you guys I'm a lightweight. I had 2 beers. That's it. I'm done. I don't take pleasure in getting drunk or feeling like I'm going to puke. So I don't do it. Excuse me. I hope I don't have anything. I am vaccinated, so I don't have COVID, but it's been another rainy, possibly turning to snow tonight day in here in the Denver area. It's been really weird weather. It was like almost 80 degrees yesterday, and today it was floating around 50 and cloudy all day, and then finally at the end of the day it opened up and rained, and might, like it said, might turn to snow tonight. So it's just an interesting weather that we're dealing with. I feel like I haven't done one of these. It's only been like maybe 5-6 days, but it feels like it's been a really long time. Sorry. And so I feel like I'm not being very good at it right now, but I'm just going to try to plow through this. I've been very lucky. I haven't been around death a lot. By the way, I never took my drink to Pam. But yeah, it's I've only been to a few funerals. The first one I ever went to was in high school, and a very popular girl that I went to high school with, her name was Libby Miller, and she died in a car accident on Lookout Mountain. That was pretty bad. It was also very weird because that same night, me and some friends from school won the Air Band. Many of you may need an explanation on that if you're younger. We used to do basically lip syncing contests in the 80s, and they called it Air Band, and you'd maybe get some fake guitars or a tennis racket, and it was goofy, it was silly, and it was a lot of fun. But we won that night, the same night that Libby Miller died. Me and my friends, the more ethnic parts of the school, I would say, we had the Brooks brothers, the three Brooks brothers, Steve, Don, and Anthony. And then there was me and my friend Troy were the white guys, and my best friend at the time, Dominic Pacheco, another guy named Frank Rangel. We were Morris Day and the Time, and we did the song The Bird, and we won. And then we ate at Godfather's Pizza with our $60 in winnings. But yeah, so that was the first time I ever went to a funeral, was that following week after Libby Miller died. It was very upsetting. When you're in high school, you think you're bulletproof, and it's hard to see a popular, well-liked classmate die, so that was a bummer. I got very lucky because we were here in Colorado. My grandparents were all back in New York, so I didn't get too close to or attached to them because I was 5 years old when I left, and I rarely saw them. So when my grandfather on my dad's side died, it wasn't too huge of a loss for me. And then my grandfather on technically my step grandfather died. That wasn't a huge loss for me. I didn't go back for either of those funerals. And then when we lived in Cleveland in 1997, my grandmother on my father's side died. And once again, it was not a huge loss. It was sad, and it was hard on my dad and hard on my uncle. But that was probably the first time I think I've ever touched a dead body. I put my dad kind of pressured me into touching her. He was like, "You want to touch her?" I'm like, "Why don't you touch her?" All right, fine. That was weird because it was an open casket, and I held her hand for a second, and then we went to the cemetery and buried her. And so that was it. And for another, 13 years until I finally lost somebody I really care about. It was my grandmother on my mom's side, who not only was I pretty tight with back in New York, and we visited, but she moved here in '93. So she was here another 17 years before she died in 2010. I was very fortunate. It was her third battle with cancer. She'd beaten breast cancer. She'd beaten bladder cancer one time. And on the second time, she was 84. Bladder cancer, she was done. And just done battling. And, she was a battler her whole life. I think I've talked about her before. If I haven't, maybe I should do an entire episode to her, because she's a pretty amazing woman. It was interesting in the way that she died. She was in hospice in her apartment right here in Edgewater. Very close to where I live now, and luckily I was able to see her a lot as she was dying, and in her moments of being lucid, I got to talk to her. And then I was trying, and my mom's like, "She's near the end, you need to be here." And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And so I ended up spending the night, and I kept staying up, like, I really want to be there when she finally passes. And that was like 2 a.m. And Mom's like, "Okay, I'll let you know, okay?" And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And like 3 hours later, I could hear my parents talking, my stepdad and my mom. They'd gotten some Starbucks, and I hear one of them say, "Oh, she's gone." And I was like, "Oh, shit." And I went out, and I grabbed my grandmother's hand, and I said, "I love you, Grandma." And she took like a couple breaths, and it felt like she was saving that for me, because I know how much she loved me. I was her first grandchild, and so it was really amazing. And so I haven't been around death until this is like it. Those are the 4 instances. I'm going to do a part 2 because we're to 10 minutes, and I kind of took it away. I didn't expect to take it. So that's part 1 of 2 on death, and see you in a minute. Bye.